to be honest here. It's difficult for me to even count the bounty points, so.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we are just about ready for this second game, and we're going to throw it over to the spectator cam, and we are dropping in with our winner from Game 1, Go Ronnie, who showed up big for World Best Gaming.
Right out of the gates, too, with Flame Hopper, we do see how important that truck can be. It's just plowing through fences, not going to take any damage on that. He's going to be inside, starting to get the loot on. We are going to see a helmet get picked up and dropped.
Drop Kid gonna get taken out first in this match with a head tap from a shotgun.
Huge disappointment coming out here. I mean, this is one of those guys that we were highlighting. Young gun, first tournament, taking first place in his qualifier game, not going to have a great placement the first time around, I believe in 20th place, and now going to get cut down. First blood, going to be the first one to be sent out, and this could be absolute disaster for him for the rest of the tournament. Going to need to show up big next time around. Ninja didn't get to see too much out of him, choking to gas that first time. Going to be representing Luminosity Gaming, and he is starting to find some serious loot.
Yeah, ends up going with the second shotgun there and decided that was not what he wanted. I have never seen a double shotgun meta, so I guess except for Mini playing an all shotgun game. Other than that, I haven't seen it happen.
Yeah, I don't think it will be one that pays off. But speaking of the shotgun, we've seen just how much work Hurrah can do with it. Hurrah going to be on your map. He is relatively close to Reigns, and also Measly jumping on board with Reigns. Now, is this looting phase playing out in a relatively similar fashion as to what we saw in that first game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's almost always going to be the same way here at the beginning. Every now and then you might see a couple off kills right at the start, but the majority of the time you're going to see very, very few people die before that first circle closes, and still only a few people until maybe we get 2 or 3 in.
Yeah, when we actually do get a chance to look at that map, we'll see how clean that spread was, how much space there is between these players. We can see right now, some players are relatively close to each other, which could mean one of those early fluky engagements like we did see with Dropped going down, but also that will allow us to predict where that first ring may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And back on board with Measly, who we talked about yesterday, playing that rooftop. And this first safe zone is going to be a small one. Runamuck Lake eating up a large portion of it. All the way in the southwest corner here, Flame, 10K, Crumb already down there. Probably didn't expect to have the safe zone, but they are going to get it, which is going to give them the option to get some prime real estate and try to make it into the late game. Again, we've talked about these safe zones that kind of go off the map a little bit, and there is a bit of buffer room between the edge of the actual visible map and the death zone that the game puts in to prevent you from going too far. So these guys may be able to just go off map. There's a ton of trees, a lot of cover up there in the mountains, and we see Isco getting fired on here by YT2Tap.
Somebody's playing for bounties right now. We're going to see that Asian player really sticking it to Isco. Isco going to be able to get away from that fight. He is not that bloodthirsty. But want to bring it back to the placement on the map. This ring is going to be incredibly tight here. Yeah. This is just going to be so small. I mean, if I was one of those players in that safe zone, like Crumb, I'd stand up for a second, crack my knuckles, take a deep breath, and know that just in the best position on the map.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Crumb lead Vigor earlier and take them into those off-map scenarios and into those far south sections onto the mountains, and I expect him to do the same here. Jerk gonna step up and open up into Jordy, takes Jordy down to 1 shot. Jerk with a makeshift on, knows he's hit 3 flesh, he's down to 1 shot, and he's gonna push it, and down goes Noah though. Isco able to return the favor from the shots that Noah went for earlier on him and takes him down.
Yeah, Isco, we talked about him being a slayer in that first game. He was cut down relatively early. Let's see if he can fight his way back up on the board with placement and slaying alike. Jerk Chicken now moving through this backyard. He's got the fence for cover for now. We can see Jordy inside of his smoke. He is 1 shot, trying to stop that bleeding and trying to stem all of this damage. Yeah. Jerk Chicken, though, moving around here, not looking for a fight, just looking to loot a little bit more, but he seems to be relatively set up here.
Yeah, I don't think Jordy actually needed to waste any throwables there. He had already broken line of sight. Jerk didn't have a line on him. He could have gotten away and just healed up behind the tree, maybe using it to make sure that he doesn't get pinched out, but we saw people run out of smoke nades late game yesterday. Isco running out of them after going through about 20 of them in the qualifiers. So sometimes using or holding on to those and trying to keep them for the late game is a huge help.
Milky Day going to spot this player here, take a couple of shots at the truck. We've seen just how aggressive Milky Day does like to play the game. P90 Princess is going to be the player we jump onto next. See, she's kind of wide in the open here.
That is not where you want to be running through on foot. PYD YT 2-tap is in a fight here with Boxes. Boxes has been hit once, throws out a nade, gets in the car because the throwable comes at him as well, able to dodge it. YT 2-tap actually playing really aggressive here, but he does get hit once after Boxy returns the favor, and he decides that he no longer wants the fight.
Yeah, taking that shot to flesh is going to be enough to scare anyone this early in Boxes, taking quite a bit of damage. He's hanging out around 40% health. Going to need to take some time to heal on back up. You can see he's already doing just that. He's about 300 meters away in Boxes inside of this car. That's how he's moving so fast. Where exactly is he heading in this Jeep? Does he just want to cut over to ring, or does he have enough time to hit one more POI?
He wants to, most likely, he's fairly looted from where he came from. He wants to go ahead and get down into the safe zone and get his position ready, or possibly start setting up outside of the safe zone to push in with the gas, depending on where he thinks the best position is going to be for him.
Benefit of the truck, definitely not going to have the best speed here, but it's going to be able to slam through a bunch of junk.
But not trees.
It definitely can't cut down a tree. No reason not to try, though.
Another player here on foot. So we don't see players on foot ever really until in-game in team play. But a lot of players here without vehicles having to run through open field, which is definitely not a feel-good situation. You're at extreme risk, but we do have a fight here between Jordy. Molotov going to come out from both players, but Jordy gets the connection onto Triv. Triv coming back, stepping in to take the shot, which is a little bit harder to do while on fire. Your screen gets a little messed up. He's going to run right through his own Molotov, chasing this fight. Super aggressive. Jordy wants the kill onto Triv. Triv gonna make him pay for it before he goes down, and the two players are going to trade out, but Triv is not going to go down alone.
Gonna get punished for running through his own molly. You shouldn't be running through fire. Doesn't work in any game.
No, you can. There's a few people out there that have had a run-in or two with their own Molotovs that could probably clue you in a little bit more about them.
Yeah, well, definitely no reason to be doing that when there are only 4 players getting sent home, and you're 2 of them in that engagement. So now jumping back onto a few players who are playing it much more passively. Grimmy Bear, though, lurking in the wings. Husker, is he going to find Reptar in a good position here? But Reptar gonna come out on top, even though Husker seemed to have that upper hand for a little bit in that fight.
Yeah, and we're back on board with Aladdin, who played really, really strong, made it very, very late in last game, obviously, and he is still looting a little bit, so he feels a little light on his kit, trying to find a few more things. Definitely a lot there for him. AK, duct tape, and a grenade. A lot of different things there, a lot of utility that he's able to find in that building there.
Chop it down relatively low here. In that police car, though, going to be able to get running from pretty much just about anyone. Grimmy Bear behind this tree, trying to see if he can find Aladdin. Aladdin, though, already scooching off pretty far into the distance. He is going to be pretty safe inside of that vehicle. This safe zone, though, so far away, we are seeing an absolute pilgrimage from our players.
Sweet Dreams actually stocking in Boxes right now. Boxy gonna get eliminated by Sweet Dreams. Little bit of feel good, a whole lot of feel bad when you have to take out your teammate in a solo environment. But Sweet Dreams stays alive here and eliminates a big threat to him in the late game.
Making it look very easy, though, there, too. You can't choke up against your teammates. You need to take them down, especially with so much money on the line. But as we can see on that map, it looks like there is going to be a skirmish as these players try to get inside of the safe zone. Now it's going to be Nightwalker inside of an engagement. The question is, will Jerk Chicken push here? It seems like Nightwalker has a pretty favorable position. Jerk Chicken going to see that, going to get out. Off screen, Measley going to take down Prox. That is a nice early kill coming up from him. A big pickup. 53 players still remaining. Another fight going on now. This game is playing out much faster than the first one.
Yeah, definitely a lot of engagements here. Measley gets tagged once, throws on a new makeshift immediately, doesn't throw the heal on, knows that he's still within 5-shot range with that Lammy, or with the makeshift on, gonna step out, take a few shots, not worth it. Other player disengages, he'll get his heal off.
I want to see Measley do some big things here, especially after what went down on that roof in the qualifying match for Measley. Measley obviously still doing well enough to get here today, but not being able to clinch up a first place. The FPS was the player who actually got up on a roof a little bit after Measley and ran away with it in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we were talking about earlier is we were grabbing some of the craftable items, and for the new viewers at home, basically what we're talking about is these players can break down items that they find on the map and pair it up with a duct tape and actually kind of patch themselves together and make an armor that's going to absorb one bullet for them to the body. Doesn't protect the head, but it's going to protect every other part of the body for them, which is big going in. It saves you from a shotgun. It can save you and keep you alive just long enough to get away and heal up and disengage from a fight. So definitely something that these guys are carrying a lot of, and they're going to continue to stack them into their bag so that they have them with them.
We haven't seen too much of what we see in fives in that mid game of that war of attrition, of that taxing gameplay coming in, trying to take away vehicles, helmets, taking away different body armors from these players. Do you think we may see more of those trades coming in a little bit later on as these circles start to close?
Yeah, and again, this safe zone pulling left still, so even staying further off the map and shrinking again. We're gonna see a lot of players in a small space really quickly, a lot of ledges. People are gonna be able to make a lot of flank maneuvers, and we'll see who can make the use of the zone the best to outplay.
One of the reasons, too, that this game has been going so much faster, when we actually do get to this ring, it's almost like we're an additional 2 rings in. We're gonna see Ninja now taking some serious shots.
Yeah, YT2Tap gonna press this. He knows how many flesh hits he's got. He's got Ninja extremely low. Throwable coming out. Ninja already sees it coming on the move. Presses into the open, tries to go for the shotgun kill, but YT2Tap is going to go ahead and take that peek and give him a shotgun of his own.
Beautiful play coming out there. Ninja going to go early in this one as well. Going to have to fight really hard in this third game. Doug is raw inside of the Jeep, going to be getting some fire over onto him. Just some warning shots, making sure that Doug is raw doesn't hop out and start a fight of his own. Doug trying to rotate to a good position here. Now we are back on with YT2Tap King. And this is the guy who was able to get a beautiful kill a little bit earlier on onto Ninja. Now Jerk Chicken going to get one of the cleanest kills we've seen in this entire game.
And Anonymous here just kind of watching Radic go by, doesn't decide to take any shots. Kyreg out there in the water as well. This is an area we talked about yesterday during one of the safe zones that was down here. And these lakes are just, there's no cover. It's basically a dead zone. The only thing you're gonna do is drive through it in a car. Geets landing himself another kill with an assist from Zach. So he's continually adding up money off of these matches here in kills.
Man, this is just one of the most aggressive safe zones that we're going to see with how it actually does play out. Just not going to be much space here for players to set up, get a good position. We are going to see some serious shots going in here onto Sweet Dreams. Saw Sweet Dreams have to take out his teammate a little bit earlier.
Yeah, again, a little bit of feel good, a lot of feel bad there when you have to take out a teammate, but it's got to be done. I think the safe zone actually might play out a little bit slower if it continues to move that way. We're going to end up very far in the hills where there's a ton of ridge lines, and you're going to see a similar safe zone look that we saw to P90's big play at the end of her qualifier yesterday, when she ended up taking down second place and eliminating Shurima Wizard. It's gonna play out very similar to that if this safe zone continues to move that direction. We do have Measley now looking into Jerk Chicken, trying to take a couple shots. Gas is gonna roll over him, and he realizes that he needs to get going now. This safe zone also made it go a little bit quicker today because it's having to move the gas farther. With the dynamic safe zone, it moves a little bit quicker, and you have to adjust to that. Crumb in a very close position here with P90, gonna decide to disengage. Crumb, somebody that doesn't take fights unless he has to, doesn't have to there. Bowman, Rizar, Apex Shay with a long way to go. It looks like Nightwalker's still working his way out. He never got a vehicle. He may not make it to the safe zone because it went so far south.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. Are some of these players on the outskirts even going to be able to get in at all?
Yeah, a lot of these guys are at risk of elimination to the gas. There's about 4 or 5 there that I don't think are gonna make it.
Yeah, we might see some players choking in that kill feed soon. Looking right now on Choppa down.
Yeah, another
not going to take this fight, and you know what? He has a vehicle, so he really does have the upper hand right now, being one of those players who can move at max speed here.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that doesn't mind doing hops and taking fights in open field either. He's very comfortable, very confident in his shot, and you'll see him probably take those fights here still. But he got eliminated early in the last match, so he may decide to tone it back a bit.
Now we are looking at the outside of this gas ring. That's still Choppadown moving right around that ring. We're going to see a player from Echo Fox try to sink some shots into Kyrick, but going to have to turn his eyes really quickly because Choppadown is in the wings. Choppadown trying to get some shots in. He's going to move back behind this ridge. Ooh, that was a really nice shot, but it's not going to be enough. We are going to see Choppadown fall down.
Yeah, Choppa going to go down here to Radic, one of the big Titans who's been very consistent in within Champions Arena solo plays and at the TwitchCon, obviously taking down one of those matches there. Radic still showing that he is one of the top tier players.
Takes some to the flesh there, but he does come out on top. But we're on board with Pineapples for the first time. Rogue going to be falling down here too, Measly. But we did get a chance to jump on with him for just a little bit, but now we're going to hop back to Measly, seeing him trying to heal himself up, taking as much loot as he can from Rogue, but we are back on with Pineapples. Want to see what he can do. We didn't get to see much out of him in the first game, but we've been hyping him up a whole bunch. He managed to qualify without even playing in the qualifying matches. He's one of those invited players.
Yeah, and something that's big here that we haven't really talked about within the vehicles this weekend so far is the Jeeps. Now, the Jeeps in the current patch don't lose their torque or speed going uphill, so they're a little bit better in these mountainous areas of getting out of situations quickly. So the Jeep may be a more favorable ride to take with you than the usual cop car.
It's been an interesting thing with these changes, just seeing how much different vehicles shine in different situations. Sometimes you actually want to be in the truck now. It used to be a vehicle that really wasn't favorable at all. And now the Jeep going to shine potentially in this matchup. Jerk Chicken trying to keep some eyes on to Measly.
Yeah, I believe we saw Measly and Jerk actually looking at each other earlier, so I think Jerk is aware that there is somebody behind him coming out of the gas, but it looks like Measly is rotating to the right there. And hunting rifle kill out of Calzy. That might be the first one that we've actually seen used to get a kill so far this weekend, and he's going to take out Zach, who ended up taking first in Group B yesterday.
That was one of the first ones that we have seen, and it's going to prove to be an absolutely massive one as well. Now we're on with Calzy. Will he be able to get any additional ones? Trying to look at Blood Inferno all the way 350 away.
Long shot to try and throw a bullet from a hunting rifle at a moving vehicle. I don't think he's going to try and take that one. He does. That's the highlight of the weekend, though.
Oh, man, I would love to see it happen. On board with Flamehopper now as he does screech on down this hill.
Yeah, Flamehopper just kind of driving around. And again, this car isn't going to be as favorable as the Jeep. You hit a bump on anything on an ATV, a cop car, or a pickup up in these mountains, and you are upside down in an instant.
Now, Shurima Wizard, what do you think of this position that he has managed to etch out for himself?
I mean, the only position that can shoot him while he's sitting on that side of the ridge is really, really far. There's nobody down below him. He's in a pretty decent spot. We've got some nades coming out here from Milky Day down onto 50 Shades, and that is going to be a Kobe. Took 2 shots, but that second one found home, and he is going to net himself a kill.
We've seen a lot out of Milky Day, especially in the slang department. We were talking about just how filthy his shotgun can be, but it looks like he's got an arm as well. Let's see if he can keep this momentum going throughout this game. Flame still struggling to move around in this police car, and it is palpable just how difficult it is to traverse uphill in it.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, and we hopped on board. Bowman, first one going to choke out to that gas. But we do see the cop car just barreling down in shambles, manages to somehow land it and stay upright and be able to drive away. But it's definitely not the car you want to be driving.
We're starting to see, yeah.
Unfortunately, going to get caught by the gas. We'll most likely see those other players start going down. I know that Isco was pretty far out there at one point. We'll see if he can maybe make it in.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that there were a few of them really far out there in the wings, and the trek may not have even been possible to do. Grimmy Bear looks like he's going to make it. The real question is going to be Isco. Everyone else relatively safe. We are also going to see that new ring. It still continues to skew to the west. And that's going to spell out what it actually does look like when we get to that final ring, but Isco going to choke out here. Everyone else should be able to keep in tow with the gas for the rest of the game, but we did see quite a few players fall for that. Now we're going to see another one. It's going to be Rizar dying to an explosion.
Yeah, definitely. And the gas is it is doing a ton of damage at this point when you are running for that long. We're at about 2.2 damage per second, and they're at 100% toxicity, which means it's doubling. They're taking 4.4, almost 4.5 damage per second, which is really hard to out-heal. You're gonna burn through bandages and med kits at an alarming rate. You do not wanna be that far into the gas. This safe zone definitely taking its toll, and the gas is getting top kills this match.
TXC Superstar finding himself in a pretty difficult position here. Ashton may have the drop on him. We're gonna pop up way high up, take a look down right now, and as you can see, this ring is full of verticality.
Yeah, ton of mountains, ton of little fingers off of each mountain. Even if you're really close to each other on these mountains, there's still little divots and pockets that you can hide in, and people won't even know you're there. So this safe zone is going to close in. I expect to see quite a few people make it in, and we're going to see some situations, as we said, like P90, who've made a decision to go ahead and make the play with the shotgun, and I think it's going to come out towards this end circle.
Nanamouse did fall down there, and if you're just tuning in, you haven't necessarily heard Supersonic and I talk about it, but when we are in these particular types of terrain, there are these ridges that form next to each other and almost form a little valley. That valley will give you really good cover, so keep an eye for players who manage to position themselves between two ridges to cut off different sides of attack from their opponent. But now it's going to be Howie. This is one of those pre-qualified players getting some very aggressive shots in. Monster going to have to invest right now with one of his smokes. Howie going to throw out a smoke as well. This may be so he can try to advance into this fray, but that additional throwable, as you can see, he tries to get it in there.
Howie, a player that absolutely loves throwables, loves nades. Reddick gonna choke out to the gas. Hurrah gonna go down, and Grimmy as well. And then Sharima gonna clean up onto Ashton. Calsy gonna drop to Aladdin. Hansen now going to go down to Reptar as well, and we are losing players extremely quickly. Gas Runner now finds Geets, that player that was going off when kills last round. Geets going to go down earlier than he wants to.
The real flow that we saw there too was someone engaged, someone manages to get to pinch on them, and then someone else, like everyone, just kind of falling in line, getting to attack the aggressor. Staying alive after that train of deaths is no small feat. Crumb now going to take out Teenage. We can see Howie is going to see Garanny. Garanny was able to pick up that first game. Will he be able to have a performance like that again inside of the smoke, trying to stay away from Howie? Who will get the eye line first? Garanny starting to take some damage to the flesh. We're going to see that gas come out. Measly going to fall down to Transpair. Howie going to move back a little bit here. Doesn't want to get over aggressive. Garanny still inside of that smoke. We could potentially see a wraparound. Pineapple's dead in the center of our map inside of that safe zone. That may pay off for him later, but back on board with Garanny, taking about 2 shots from the flesh, still in the cover of smoke. Monster, who was able to take up one of those qualifier games a little bit early. Garanny's gonna see him, but he's going to see the bullets first, pinched by Howie. Howie going to send Garanny home. That is going to be a disappointing finish after first. Definitely going to be sitting well in placement points, but he comes in 31st place.
Actually gets stolen. He actually did not get that one. The other player did steal that kill from Howie. He got a 90% assist, loses out on the points and the money, and then we lose CBK Flame to a shotgun there.
Guys might want to split that bounty. That $100 kill, you know, you might want to
one of them did more work than the other one. I don't know if they're going to agree on what the split is. Sweet Dream's going to give a 2% assist out to Zeeth onto Doug is raw, and we see this fight opening up between Gabe and Adrian. Adrian going to go down there, but Gabe, 95%, gets the kill stolen from him by the FPS, and we are now on board with TXC, who's down to about 50% firing uphill, and he is going to get taken out by Splintexify as Sharima takes out YT2 tap.
TXC not able to reenact what went down last night, not being able to slay out on the same level, not being able to get as high as a placement, but we are very close to getting our top 20. This player from Epsilon looking to get slightly aggressive, but can curl up the side of this hill. We can also see FPS really getting that high ground here. Sharima Wizard under assault, going to take a shot to the flesh.
And Zeeth finds Pineapples. Piney going down in 24th place.
Oh, BMR going to eat that shotgun. Sharima Wizard coming out on top, but not out of the gas yet. Going to use that police car to get out in the nick of time. Needs to heal up before he finds another player. Doesn't want to take another fight. Gabesmon inside of this cover, but if FPS manages to get his crosshairs on, we're going to see that throwable go slightly askew. Not necessarily going to hit Gabesmon.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you got that bank there, there could have been a huge payoff. Shurima Wizard ultimately going to fall down to Blood Inferno. Now Sweet Dreams starting to heat up, going to take down Gas Runner. Reptar going to fall to that player from Epsilon. Oh, and now we are going to see Splint, right after getting that kill, getting his helmet knocked off, taking some to the flesh.
Crumb extremely low here also. It looks like he might have been fighting Apex Shay. Apex Shay only 12 meters away. Crumb not looking that direction. He may not have been engaged by him yet. I don't think he has an idea that Apex Shay's behind him.
FPS gonna lose that body armor there. Another throwable coming out. This time it is going to be the smoke defensively. Pretty standard play coming out here. And as you can see, FPS backing it all the way up into that gas. We have our top 20 at this point. This is when every kill matters the most. You are jumping up significantly in placement money. 25K going to whoever gets first place overall. $100,000 on the line in total. Gabesmon getting shut down a little bit early. We saw Aladdin really heat up in the last game, looking to do it here again.
Yeah, Aladdin putting himself in a great position, making top 20 here again, guaranteed. We'll see what he can pull off, and he does have a hunting rifle, tries to throw a quick shot. The FPS up the hill behind him, jumps down and is running. We'll see if these players spot each other, but Illusion gonna go down to a shotgun, and Crumb gonna get taken out by Apex Shay, which we were just talking about.
Jumping on with Jerk Chicken now. Trans was getting a bunch of kills up here, definitely moving up in the bounty department, but he finds a relatively bad fight. Now Aladdin inside of the gas. He can see two players here. Potentially Kyrig is going to get a kill off screen, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Jerk Chicken able to take down Transparent. Now FPS looks to be in dire straits, and we are going to see that kill go to the way of Aladdin. Had a major advantage. FPS and Monster falling together at about the same time. Transparent still moving forward. Took two to the flash. Now Jerk Chicken standing on nearly his last leg, going to be able to heal up to about 75% health here. We're seeing the armor get peeled off of Aladdin. Jerk Chicken going to go down to Sweet Dreams. Howie behind this tree. And will we see a hop out of that car? Potentially a one pump.
No, Flamehopper going to continue by, does not want that fight. We see the fight going down between P90 and 10K. 10K jumps over P90's head, makes it into the vehicle, drives out, leaves her there to go down to Blood Inferno, but P90 with a much better performance, going down in 11th this round. Definitely has to be happier this game.
I mean, if she could move up that far again, she would find herself in a very good position. Solid placement coming out of P90. Princess Howie still alive here, gonna send home Aladdin.
Top 10 performance again out of Aladdin, though. Definitely looking good to make it into the money here after the third match.
Blood Inferno moving right past Howie, not deciding to take that fight. Now we are going to see two players in their cars. Blood Inferno just moving along here, right along the gas. He's going to pop out. He's going to get some nice shots in, taking down Apex Shay.
Aggressive hop there in a decent area, though. He has the gas at his back. He has a full ring that he can lay down and heal in, has cover from all sides. If you're going to take the hop to win a fight and play for a position, it was a good one to take. He wins it. High risk, high reward. I typically don't like seeing those, but he didn't have much of an option.
Splint manages to dodge that molly and gets a shot into Flamehopper. Flamehopper going to utilize another molly here. A big investment, but it may pay off. Splint gets behind that tree, though, and look what he can pull off from that cover. We do see the frag come out, and while we are talking, we see Kyrig and 10K both go down. Now it's Howie to Blood Inferno, and we only have 4 players left.
Blood Inferno on the
1%?
last thread of life. You can actually hit a 0.5%. You can read out at 0. I may have gotten it off at that 0 mark, barely gets it off and survives that fight. And we are down to 4, though, back on board with Sweet Dreams, who's listening to this fight from Splint and Blood. He might decide to press this. Looks like he's not going to. Gonna throw some throwables in there, try and get some zone denial off of that, and force Splint to have to make a move here.
Sweet Dreams has a decent line, but it's going to be Splint who opens up the first shots. We are going to see Sweet Dreams potentially engaging as well. Splint could get pinched here by Zeeth. It may be Zeeth and Sweet Dreams closing this one out. We're taking a look at Zeeth right now as he curls around this tree. Will he get the line on Splint? Oh, that's going to be the last Molotov that we see come out. Throwable coming out from Zeeth, but Zeeth taking some serious damage. Splint trying to retaliate, but Splint does fall down. This should be an easy kill, and Zeeth gonna catch on fire.
Sweet Dreams can definitely see the smoke coming off of Zeeth. Easy cleanup, get the headshot to end it. Sweet Dreams taking down Game 2 here at the Elite Series Solo Finals at Dreamhack Atlanta.
We only have one game left.
And his teammate here, T-Hump and the general manager from Rogue probably pretty happy with that one. They seem to be a little calmer, though, than the world's best guys. Need to get a little more hype out of them.
Yeah, I honestly thought we were going to see some of those world best guys run right out of the venue there. They're running all over the place. But the big question is now, what is going to happen in this last game?